Hi everyone, so in today's video I am going to be doing my anxiety story, and recently a lot of you have just been messaging me and stuff and asking me to do some more personal videos again, so I thought I would go ahead and do that for you. Once again, as always, I just want to say if you're not here for this type of video, please feel free to exit and come back for my next beauty video. And also I just want to say that these videos aren't really like edited or anything, just because I like to have it very me and very personal and very just real. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into my anxiety story. I can always remember being a really anxious child growing up. I was just always anxious. I always wanted to be with my parents. I never wanted to be left alone. I was just always a very nervous person. I thought that any vehicle that passed me was going to have somebody in it that would kidnap me, and I just always needed to be with my parents in order to feel safe. So that lasted literally throughout my whole childhood and everything. And then about 7 or 8 years ago, me, my mom, and my sister were involved in a really bad car accident where we were going through a intersection and our light was green and the other people's were red, of course, and an elderly lady actually went around cars that were stopped for the red light and came and T-boned us. And it was a really bad car accident. Our car actually veered off the road, as well as hers, and ours actually ended up flipping into a ditch and ending up on our roof. The other lady that hit us, hers ended up not flipping and just kind of veered off onto the other road. But we did end up in a ditch. We went between two telephone poles, and like I said, we ended up on our roof. Luckily we weren't injured. We had whiplash and of course bruises and cuts and stuff just because we had to like break the window in order to get out. And of course that obviously caused some emotional stress and emotional damage on me. I was a lot younger. This was on Easter Sunday. It was supposed to be a very like family-oriented day, and it ended up being horrible because we spent our whole day in the hospital. Luckily though, I honestly believe that somebody was watching over us that day, because it could have been a lot worse than it ended, and luckily nobody was severely injured, no broken bones, no surgeries had to be done or anything, and I honestly feel very lucky because I know that some people don't even make it out of a car accident like that, and even the paramedics and stuff said that we were very lucky people, so I'm honestly so blessed for that. But unfortunately after the car accident my anxiety got a lot worse. I wouldn't even go in the car. If my mom went out with the car, I needed to literally call her on her cell phone 20 times to make sure she was okay, to make sure she got where she needed to go. I was always wondering when she would be home, where she was, exactly like what time she would be back. And I just came to a place in my life where I was just really scared. Like I always felt like something bad was going to happen, and even though every day obviously nothing bad really happened to me, I still worried and I got scared, and it was honestly not a good time for me at all, because around that time I just didn't want to go to school. I was laying in my bed all the time and I was just scared to leave my house, because I assumed that if I left my house I was going out into a dangerous place, so to call it, and I was convinced that I was going to get killed some way, somehow. And then eventually after that, probably a couple months went by and it started to get a little bit better, because I actually got put on anxiety medication. And I remember the first time I took my anxiety medication, I got so scared. I was bawling. I was younger, so I didn't really understand why I needed a medication, and it was kind of hard for my parents to explain it to me, but in the end it did help a lot. And then fast forward a year after our car accident, I remember I was getting ready to go to rowing and I got a call at 8 o'clock in the morning from my grampy, and he asked for my mom, and he was just very grampy. My grampy is an amazing person, and he was talking to me and my sister on my phone, and then he said, "Is your mom there?" So that was pretty usual for him. So me and my sister handed the phone to my mom, and he told my mom and my dad that my Grammy was actually in cardiac arrest, which meant obviously she had no heartbeat, no nothing, and at that point in time they were actually working on her, so they were giving her CPR and stuff, and he called us to the hospital. I remember my mom hung up the phone and I could tell something was wrong, and she told us what had happened, and my whole family got in the car. We went to the hospital, and they only let my mom go in with my grandpa, so my dad stayed with me, my brother, and my sister, and then my aunts and uncles and cousins started to come. And from there, they were able to revive her, and they airlifted her to another hospital about a half hour away from us. And at that hospital, it was discovered that she had something called Brugada syndrome. And Brugada syndrome is actually a genetic heart condition. It has to do with the electrical conduction in your heart. And luckily they were able to revive her, like I said. She was on life support for 2 weeks, and then she was able to come off of it. She was able to come home, which was amazing. But while she was at the hospital, she actually had a defibrillator, or pacemaker, I guess some people call it, even though there's a slight difference, but she had a defibrillator implanted in her. And they also told us that Brugada syndrome was genetic. Now, genetic obviously means that it can be passed on from parent to child, from child to whatever, their child, I guess, if that makes any sense. So Brugada syndrome does not skip generations, so my mom and her 2 brothers had to get tested for Brugada syndrome. And my mom's came back positive, which then meant me, my sister, and my brother had to be tested, and mine and my sister's came back positive. So that was obviously really scary because Brugada syndrome is a very serious condition. You don't know what is going to happen with it. There is no cure. The only thing they can do is give you a defibrillator, and basically you can just collapse at any time and go into cardiac arrest. So I mean, growing up for me, that was really scary. I still didn't really understand. So I never really dealt with it. I was just kind of like, oh, I have a heart condition. My mom and my sister got a defibrillator implanted as well, but they told me I was too young, so I carry a portable defibrillator, which is like the pads that they shock you with at the hospital. If you ever see like TV shows or movies where they shock somebody who is in cardiac arrest, that is actually what I carry. So it is this big red box type thing. It's super heavy, and like I said, I think that was about 6 years ago now, 6 years ago in July, and to this day I still carry my defibrillator. And I've never really shared that with you guys, but I knew that this was a big part of my anxiety story and what really kicked it off, so I thought I would let you guys know. I do want to say at this point in time I am okay. I'm struggling a bit, but I'm okay. So then fast forward a year after all of this Brugada syndrome thing and finding out about the heart condition and having people go through tons of surgeries to get defibrillators implanted and whatever, my dad was actually diagnosed with cancer. And that was really scary for me. And that was, like I said, a year after this, and he was diagnosed with cancer. And it was pretty bad, but luckily my dad survived. And after my dad got through all of his treatments and stuff, I really took a turn for the worst, I guess. Everything kind of caught up with me. I started to realize that I had a very serious medical condition myself. I started to realize that the people around me were struggling with theirs as well. And it just got a lot on my chest for me to handle, I guess, and I actually stopped going to school. And this was in grade 8, and I completely stopped going to school. I wouldn't go out with my friends. I wouldn't leave the house. I just wouldn't do anything except for lay in bed. And I really just kind of lost my life, I guess. Not my life, obviously, but like I just kind of lost everything I had in me. I had no desire to do anything. I was scared all the time. I was having panic attacks all the time, anxiety attacks all the time, and I just would not leave my house. So basically I isolated myself from the rest of the world because my house was the only place I felt safe. And like I said, I stopped going to school in grade 8. So grade 8 ended and high school came around, and obviously high school is a very scary time for anybody, and of course for me, dealing with my anxiety. But luckily that summer I had actually gone for CBT therapy in Toronto 3 times a week, and that really helped me a lot. But then I thought I was completely healed and stuff, and then high school time came and I fell back into it. My first day of high school was amazing. I was like, I'm healed, I can do this, this is going to be a great year for me, a new start. And I literally only lasted at school for 2 days. And then it was back to the not going outside, not wanting to go to school, not wanting to do anything. And my mom used to have to sit in the high school parking lot for 2 hours to try to get me out of the car, and she never could, and so I would always just come home. So ended up, I actually lost my whole grade 9 year. Around January though of my grade 9 year, I was enrolled in a program at my hospital for kids with anxiety and depression, and that was just kind of to help them transition back into school. We had like a lot of like therapy and stuff, so it was just kind of to help you kind of heal yourself so you could eventually go back to school. But even that was hard for me to go to. I don't know why I didn't feel safe in a hospital. I mean, that's like the best place for somebody with medical conditions to be, but for some reason I just didn't want to leave home. So that didn't go that well either, but luckily as the months went on, it started to get a lot easier on me. And then that summer, luckily I actually took a turn for the better. I kind of coped with everything that was going on with me. I continued to go for CBT therapy, and that really did help a lot. My medication was increased and things just started to get a lot better. So then grade 10 came around, but technically now I was considered a grade 9 again because I had just lost my whole grade 9 year, but I did have some grade 10 classes and some grade 9 classes. So technically I was a grade 10, if that makes any sense. And luckily that year was great for me. I met so many good new friends. It was just really good. My school was very helping, everybody understood, and they just accommodated me really well. So then that year I had decided that I wanted to lose weight because I had always been bullied growing up, which I feel like really had a big impact on my anxiety. So March of grade 10 rolled around and I said I was going to lose weight. So I started to lose 10 pounds, then 10 pounds turned into 50 pounds, and then 50 pounds turned into 100 pounds, and I was diagnosed with an eating disorder in that April. So this has been an ongoing process for almost 2 years now, or I guess 2 years now, because I'm in grade 12 right now. And if you want to see that video that I talk about my eating disorder, I'll go ahead and link that down below. But my doctors feel like the reason I got an eating disorder is because they thought that since I couldn't like control anything else that was going on around me with everything with all the health problems and just all of the family like medical issues, I guess so to say, they thought that I did that because that was the only thing I could control. I could control what I put in my mouth. I could control what I ate. I could control the calories, and I could just overly control what I ate. So that was kind of a hard time for me as well, and of course my anxiety's been really bad, but now luckily I'm in school and it's great. I'm going really good. Next year I actually only have to go back for half a year because I've been able to catch up with all of my credits mostly, so that's really good. Even though I won't be able to graduate with the people I graduated grade 8 with because I did lose that grade 9 year, I'm just really happy that I've been able to kind of heal myself, and honestly I feel so blessed because I just feel like this has made me such a stronger person. Everything I've had to go through has made me so strong, and being able to help me share my story with other people and help inspire them and just tell them that eventually it's going to be okay. It's going to take a very, very long time. Things are going to happen, things are going to get in your way, and you're going to feel very discouraged. But no matter what, don't give up, because I can honestly stand here and say that there were so many times when I was like, hold up, I cannot deal with this. I don't know how much more I can take, but I can promise you that it will get better. And I'm so happy to be able to sit here and say today that I hardly struggle with my anxiety. Obviously, I struggle with my heart condition because it is a lifelong disease. Like I said, there is no treatment. There is no healing it or anything. I eventually will have to go in for surgery to get a defibrillator implanted as well, coming up in the very near future, and I know that's going to bring some anxiety, but I know that I have gone through so much already that I know that I can fight it. I know that no matter what happens, I will not let anything get in my way anymore, and I will fight through it as hard as I can. I can also sit here and say that I am really doing well in my recovery with my eating disorder, so I think that has really helped my anxiety as well. Just the whole treatment process and the whole recovery process, it's also been a very long road, but it has had a positive impact on my anxiety, And I finally feel like I'm coming to the place where I can just feel happy about where I am. I have such great friends. I have such a great support system. My family is absolutely amazing, and I could honestly not ask for better people to have in my life. Everyone is so supportive, so encouraging, and just so like impacting on my life, because without them, I don't know if I could be in the place I am today. And without you guys watching my videos and letting me be myself, I honestly don't know if I could be here as well. So I want to thank you guys so much, and I want to let you know that no matter what, if you have anything you want to talk to me about, whether it be anxiety, eating disorders, depression, whatever, bullying, please feel free to inbox me, because I would absolutely love to help you out. Please know that I am here to be your friend. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to be mean to you. And I'm really just there to lend you a supporting hand and just help you get through what you're going through as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Quick little disclaimer though, I do want to say that no matter what I just shared with you, I'm not trying to say that I have the worst life ever, because that is not the case at all. So many people have it so much worse than me, but I just wanted to share my story with you and just kind of hopefully let this encourage you and inspire you as well. Once again, please do not hesitate to ever message me, no matter what it is about, and I will be there for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, like I said, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you guys so much for being there for me, continuously supporting me through everything, and I love you all so much. Bye guys.